Hello everyone and a very warm welcome to today's tutorial. In today's tutorial we'll see how you can select multiple SharePoint files using SharePoint user interface and merge them into a single PDF using Power Automate. My name is Clavin and I work as a technical consultant. You can find my blog at clavinfernandez.wordpress.com and my Twitter handle is @clavinfernandez. For this demo, we will be using SharePoint column formatting and Power Automate. Don't worry, if you are even a beginner, I'm going to show you from where you can get all the good stuff or the JSON required for column formatting. And with respect to Power Automate, it's going to be a step-by-step demo, so you can just follow along. The inspiration for this video came from a video by Damien Bird in which he goes ahead and demonstrates how you can send items or documents via Power Automate. So before we go ahead and understand SharePoint column formatting and the Power Automate, I want you to understand the problem statement. So recently, because of the COVID situation, there are teachers and students who are working from home and students are getting their lessons at home itself. Most of the organization have adopted Microsoft Teams as well as SharePoint to go ahead and deliver the sessions and share notes, etc. In this particular case, a teacher has set up a SharePoint site. I'm logged in as mod admin and we'll consider this as a teacher. And we have two users, that is Deborah and Irwin. They are the students. Now Deborah and Irwin go ahead and submit their notes, right? So when I log in as Deborah, if you see, she does not see the folder of Irwin, and if I log in as Irwin, you'll not see the folder of Deborah, but mod admin in our case sees both of them. Now why is this important? Students, if they see each other's notes, they can simply go ahead and copy paste stuff, right? And even for this demo, we need to understand that this solution works the best if there is unique permissions assigned. If you have a multi-user environment, then it's a little bit difficult to go ahead and use this particular solution. But if you have a unique scenario, if you have a unique permission scenario that I just mentioned, then I think this is the perfect solution for you. So without wasting any further time, let's get into the demo. First, we'll start from scratch. So I'm going to go ahead and create a new library. I'll say student merge demo and I'll say create. I will go ahead and create two folders, one with the name of Deborah and one for Irwin. Let me copy this and put it into Deborah's browser. If you see, as of now, Deborah is also seeing Irwin's folder. We do not want that, right? So I'll click on details. I'll click on manage access. If you see, everybody has the access to this folder. I'll click on advanced. I'll stop inheriting permissions. That is the reason we are seeing, or Irwin or Deborah is seeing each other's folders, right? Go ahead and remove the permissions of everybody from this folder. Just remember, we are going ahead and setting permissions for Irwin's folder, so only Irwin should have the permission to this folder. Say this is fine. I'll not send him an invitation. I'll just say share. Now if I go back to Deborah's library or log in as Deborah, you see Deborah is not going ahead and seeing Irwin's folder. And if I go back as Irwin and if I just paste this folder in, he is seeing Deborah's folder as well. So we need to make sure that Deborah's folder also has unique permissions. So we'll do it quickly. We'll go back here. I'll click on Deborah's. Then I'll click on details, click on manage access. I'll scroll straight down. I'll click on advanced. I'll stop inheriting permissions. I'll just remove the user permissions and I'll grant Deborah the permission to this folder only. Again, this is fine, but I'll not send an invitation. I'll click on share. Now let's go back. Now Deborah is seeing her folder. Now if I refresh the screen, technically Deborah's folder should disappear and Irwin should only see his folder. So that's awesome, right? And if I go to Deborah, only Deborah can see her folder. So good, right? So Irwin cannot go ahead and copy nodes from Deborah's folder. So we have managed permissions. That's pretty cool. What next? Next, we'll create a column. I'll create a yes no column. I'll give it a name, include doc. Yes no column. I'll set the default as no. Right? I'll create another column real quick. I'm going to name this column as flow merge, and I'll save it. So I have two columns out here, which is 1 yes no and 2 flow merge. I want to go ahead and create checkboxes, right? How can I do that? So that can be done using SharePoint column formatting. So if I go to Google and if I type in SharePoint column formatting, and if I click on the first link that comes up, you can go ahead and follow it if you're just starting with column formatting. But for this particular tutorial, I'll show you from where did I get this particular checkbox and all the formatting that we are going to use. So if you look at this, there's something known as tips, and there it tells us that there are multiple samples available at this link. So I'll right click and open this link. I'll click on column samples and I'll search for yes no checkbox. This is it, and this is what we need, right? And this is already made, and if you look, this is how it will work. So now I can just open this JSON and I can just copy this JSON, right? I'll copy it onto a notepad. I just need to change the name of the column out here. So our column name was include doc. Copy this. I'll go here. I'll click on the drop down beside the column. I'll click on column settings and I'll say format this column. I'll say advanced. I'll remove the old schema. I'll paste in the new schema. Just let me see, include doc. That's correct. I'll click on save, cancel it, right? So here you see I'm getting the checkbox. Isn't that awesome? Now next thing that we need is a button to trigger the flow. I'll go back to the GitHub again. I'll go back to column samples and I'll search for generic start flow. I'll click on this and I think this looks good. I'll just copy this. I'll go back to my notepad, paste this in. Just remember, we need to go ahead and change the ID out here, but as of now we don't have that particular flow created, so we are going to change it at the end. And the text content, it tells me it's flow time. Instead of that, I'll say merge file. I'll paste this in as well. Column settings, format this column, advanced mode, paste. I'll save this. Here you see I get the buttons as well. So now that we have our columns set up and the permission set up as well, let's create a Power Automate. So I'll click on create. I'll click on instant flow because we need to go ahead and trigger the flow from SharePoint. Remember, you need to use an instant flow and we need to use a trigger for a selected file. I'll click on create. Here I need to specify the site address, an email tuple or an email input. I need to go ahead and check which files have been checked, right? So I'll click on SharePoint, I'll put in SharePoint and I'll use get files properties. I need to get all the files from the folder and check. So drop down, select the folder, select the library, and here we need to specify a filter. In the filter we need to specify the name of the document of the column. In our case it is include doc, and I'll say if it's equal to yes, right? But here yes means 1, so if it's equal to 1, get me those files back. Just filter those files and return it to me. Now I have got the files back. What next? Next, I need to go ahead and create an array, and this array will hold all the files. So I'll type in initialize and I'll say file array or filer, and it will be of type array. Next, what I want to do, I have the files, I need to get the file content as well, right? So get file content. Here from the drop down, I will again select the site. I will say the file identifier will be the output of the get files action identifier. It automatically decorates it with the for each or the apply to each loop, because the output returned by get files contains multiple files and it's of type array. So that looks good to me. Next, what I want to do, I want to create the array. So I'll put again variable, and I will say append array to variable. I'll select the array variable which I have initialized on the top, and here I will specify a JSON which will hold my array. So first things first, I need to specify source file, and the source file name will be file name with extension the output of the get files action. Next, in the array, I need to go ahead and pass the source file content. So source file content, and this will be the output of the action above, file content. Now I have the array. Next, what I want to do, I need to go ahead and pass this array that we just created into the Muhimbi action. So I'll type in Muhimbi and I'll type in merge. I'll type in merge documents. So I want to pass this array out here. So I'll click on this particular icon, switch to input entire array, and I'll pass it the file array. Before I go ahead and exit this loop, I need to go ahead and update the values to no again. So I'll say update file properties. From the drop down, I will again specify landing, the document library. I'll specify the ID. Similarly, I'll specify the title, which is the output of the get files action. Just remember, include document is no by default. That's good. Then I'll specify each and every column which is out here, and I'll pass it the description as well. So this looks good. So I have updated the file properties or the column properties associated to the file, and then I have also configured the merge action. Now what I want to do, I want to send this as an email. So I'll say send email v2. I'll go ahead and specify dynamic value. Let's say that I want to send it, pass it the value from the input parameter, that is, we are passing in an email address. Next, I want to give it a subject. So again, I will build a subject, say username, and I'll keep it simple. I'll say UTC now. Remember, you can go ahead and create dynamic things. I'll leave it for you, and I'll just say student submission, body is required. So I've given it the body. I'll give it the attachment name. I'll again keep it simple as of now. I'll type in username, and I'll say .pdf. The attachment content will be the output of the processed file content. Finally, I will give my flow a meaningful name, merge demo sp. That looks good. I will save it. Now I'll go back. I'm in as mod admin because I'm testing this thing again. I have uploaded few files into Deborah's folders. First things first, I need to go ahead and update the value of the JSON. So I'll just say format this column, and for us to associate Power Automate, I need to copy this ID out here, and I need to replace it out here under the action parameters, and I'll save it. Cool, I have saved it. Now let me refresh the screen once. I'll select few files, and I'll click on merge file, and if you see, a blade opens out here because we have associated this flow. So it will ask me for sign in and permissions. I'll say continue. This looks good. I'll send myself an email because this is again testing, admin, and run flow. I'll try to open my Outlook. In the meantime, let's go back to our flow designer. My flow is running, so my flow has triggered successfully. It went through the apply to each loop, it went through the merge action, and it sent an email. So let me just quickly refresh this. So here you see we have student submission, and we have Deborah homework 1, 2, 3, and the presentation. So if I go back and if I quickly show you, this is Deborah's presentation with the heart in between, so that is it. So our flow works, and if you see, it also set the include check marks back to unchecked. However, we have to see at few edge cases. Now what if I just click on merge files, the flow pane opens, I don't select any files, and I'll just click here, put in an email address, and I'll say run. Right? So flow is trying to run and it immediately failed because it could not find any files. We need to go ahead and resolve this problem. I want to go ahead and do it using column formatting. So I'll say format this column, I'll say edit, say format this column. I'll copy the JSON, I'll put it on a notepad, and here I want to specify a condition such that only if files are checked, then show me this button. If the files are not checked, don't show me this button. I don't need this button at all. So to do that, you need to understand column formatting a little, and you need to specify a parameter. Now the parameters for this particular use case would be under the styles property, because we are going to go ahead and put in a condition for style. And what would be the property? The property that we are going to play with or work around with will be the visibility colon, if include doc is true, then be visible or else be hidden. Let's go ahead and copy this and put it here and save it. Now you see by default the buttons are hidden, but as soon as I select a file, the buttons appear, right? So the first edge case is resolved. So if the user just clicks on the button, nothing happens and the flow fails. We don't want that to happen, but as of now, our condition, or you can say the condition in JSON, has actually resolved this problem. Now what next? Let's look at another use case. Now Deborah selects one file and clicks on merge. Now remember, for merge we need multiple files, and if I put in admin, if I run the flow, if I go to the flow pane, this also failed. So this is a second edge case, right? So it failed in the merge action. Why did it fail? It tells that please provide minimum of 2 files, but we just have 1 file. How will we go ahead and resolve this particular problem? Can we resolve it using column formatting? No. We need to resolve it using Power Automate. So let's go ahead and quickly first add a condition. So after the apply to each loop, we need to find a condition saying that if the files is greater than 1, then do this, and if the file is smaller than 1, then just convert that single particular file as PDF and send it. So I'll add a condition. However, how will we go ahead and check the number of files? Does the apply to each loop just go ahead and return how many loops did it do? The answer is no. We need to apply some logic. We need to go ahead and count the number of loops. How will we do that? To do that, we need to initialize a variable of type integer, because we need to count the number of files. So I'll say count files, and I'll say integer. Now that we are counting the files, what we need to do? We need to add an action inside the apply to each loop. Remember that. And we need to say increment the variable, and we say count files and increment by 1. Now what we can do, inside the condition we can say count file. If count file is greater than 1, then merge the files. If count file is not greater than 1, we need to go ahead and just convert the file and send it as an email. So let me go ahead and drag this in. Here I can say Muhimbi, and I'll just convert that particular one document. I'll say file name and file content. Oh, I don't have file content. So for that I need to again use the SharePoint, and I can say get file content. I'll drag the convert action below the file content action, and I'll say identify the file with the ID, and here I will pass it the source file content, right? That is for output of source file content too. Next I want to send it as an email, so what I'll do is that I'll copy this particular action and I'll paste it in here. So once I paste this in, I just need to change one thing. Instead of processed file content, the output of the merge, I want to pass the processed file content the output of the convert action. Everything else would be the same. So I'll save it, and it tells me my flow has got a problem because I have not specified the site URL. I'll resolve that and I'll save it. Now let's try it with a single file. I'll say include document. I'll say merge files. So we have resolved two problems. One is no files, just click on the button, and secondly, if I go ahead and pass in a single file. But however, we have to still test our solution. So it seems that it failed. Let's see why did it fail. So there's going to be troubleshooting. It tells me the file is not found for the get file content action. So file identifier is not being found. So our condition worked, but for some reason it did not find the identifier. So I'll say edit, and I'll go ahead and add another action to resolve it. I'll say get file properties, not files but only file. I'll drag the get file content below it. I'll pass this the site URL, the file, the library name, and here I'll pass in the ID, the output of the for a selected file action. Here I will now pass in the identifier. So let's see if this works now. So now hopefully this works, and a problem, yes, this time it got the file. It's trying to convert the file, and in few seconds we should have an email. So let's wait. So the name is bad because I think I passed it, but the file is good. So what I can do is that I can go back here and I'll quickly go ahead and check what file name that I have passed in. So instead of the username, I need to pass it again. Let's say username again. So copying things has not worked well for me this time. So I've saved this, and let me try it using the user interface this time. So just selecting, let's select the PowerPoint presentation instead, and let's say merge file. So now our flow should run. It's running. Let's click on it. The condition is also sufficed. If I go to the mailbox, the name is coming correctly. The file is this time a presentation. So this looks awesome. So next, this is cool. Now we need to test it with the end user as well, right? So I'll go back and log in as Deborah, and let me refresh this. So there should not be anything checked. Now Deborah selects files and tries to click on merge. Nothing happens. Why? The reason is I have not shared the flow with her. So I need to go back. I'll say run only users, and I'll say Deborah. I will also add Irwin, and I'll click on save. Now let me log in. Now let me navigate back in as Deborah. So refresh once and try to click on merge, and this time the pane opens. The pane opens and now everything should work as expected for us. It should merge the three files. Oh, I have a problem here, right? Why is it asking me for sign in? Deborah is the end user. It's telling me to fix the connections. How can I fix it? So I need to again log in back. As the mod admin, I need to edit the run only users, and I'll say this time run Muhimbi PDF connector as this connection. Okay, other things, the SharePoint and the email will be provided by Deborah, but only the Muhimbi connection. So this looks good. I'm back in as Deborah. Now I click on merge files, and boom, I don't have the Muhimbi prompt. I can now test as Deborah, and I can say send an email to mod admin. So I'll go to mod admin. Now if everything is correct, I should have an email in few seconds. We can see the run here. It's running, and I'm sure that it's the run that is triggered by Deborah, and the flow succeeded. If I go back as email, you see Deborah's name is out here, and if I open the file, I have Deborah's work. So isn't this awesome? You have not written a single line of code but created a dynamic solution using Power Automate and SharePoint column formatting. I hope this session was informative, and thank you for listening. Bye bye.